Be careful who you censor, guys. Take down E. Michael Jones's Wikipedia. You call me an anti-Semite on my Wikipedia to start all these, Jewish hitters to come at me with blah. All you're doing is going to make it worse. It's like, let people have their words just be digital. If you take away our perception of free speech, it will hurt everyone. If you're in a city where there's rainbows on the police cars, leave. LA now has typhoid. There's all these like diseases that are now starting to break out, like all these, and they're going to try and use it to force vaccines on people, but it's not going to work because the diseases are all hitting New York, LA, high population cities, homosexuals, very promiscuous people. There's now STDs that can't be cured. There is this fungal infection that's now killed 50 people that is resistant to antibiotics. Guess what? We're not going to get any of that because we don't live around a ton of sodomites. Like Don Lemon posted, he gave me a present on his birthday. How could I say no? Daddy, will you marry Papa? Daddy, will you marry Papa? That's disgusting. That disgusts people now. Don Lemon is appropriately named because he is a bitter little fruit. And if he doesn't watch himself, he's going to get Don Lemonades. Joe Biden groping Michelle Obama. That's a real front bump on Michelle Obama, by the way. That's a dude. That's a real front bump. That's not photoshopped. I had like Photoshop buddies confirm it. That's not photoshopped. Look at this. Look at this. This dude and this chick just letting them grope their son's genitals. It's the kid stuff. They keep making it about women, that he's just like smelling women and groping women, which is bad enough. He gropes children. They keep bringing in new motivators. Like now it's Mars. It used to be Venus. I listen to a lot of old JFK speeches, and he would talk about Venus a lot. That's gone. They used to scare us with acid rain, Y2K, the ozone layer, global cooling, AIDS, bird flu. I mean, none of it ever happened. So the older you get, the more you realize that's why like us old timers could see right through Russia collusion and global warming and all this stuff, because that's what they do. They keep you terrified, just constantly terrified. I remember when we were kids in the 80s, when everyone was using hairspray, they said hairspray would destroy the ozone layer, and then all the bad sun would get in and fry all our brain, all our skin. And they made sure that they said hairspray. Silent Spring came out about birds. There'd be no more birds because of DDT. The rainforest was always, they said that the rainforest would be completely gone by 1991. It's all nonsense.
They have found processed metals such as brass and mica on the moon. They have also found uranium-236 and neptunium-237 on the moon. Well, why is that significant? Well,
because the moon rocks were from Earth, Jimmy. Just listen.
The fact that this is seldom ever discussed. And by the way, this comes from NASA scientists themselves and scientists at MIT. I mean, this isn't a secret, but nobody talks about it. It's like they discovered this and just left it alone. But
I talk about it.
More specifically on why this is so interesting is that these elements have never been found to occur naturally. In fact, uranium-236 is a radioactive nuclear waste which is found in spent nuclear and reprocessed uranium. But even more
only on the Earth, Jimmy.
interesting is that neptunium-237 is a radioactive metallic element and a byproduct of nuclear reactors and the production of plutonium. But this little-known fact of processed metals and artificial elements on the moon is just seemingly left out of any conversation from the mainstream or even NASA altogether. I mean, it's not a secret, but literally you have to be a weirdo like me and go looking for the information to find it. Many people don't believe that we went to the moon, but there is a significant amount of evidence that shows that, yeah, we have indeed been to the moon.
By the way, he doesn't bring up any of the evidence, but listen to what he's about to say.
The real question is, when did we first go to the moon? What did we find there? And when's the last time we've been there? Does anyone else think that it's odd that the United States, in the middle of a Cold War and a space race with Russia, would send a couple astronauts to the moon for the very first time on live TV in front of a global audience, knowing that there was incredible risks and dangers and the likelihood that they would, well, die in the process? Insiders have...
Yes, of course I find that very odd, Jimmy. And also, you couldn't transmit from the moon. I do not know which is more hilarious. Baby boomers that desperately cling to the lie, or simpletons who weren't even alive that desperately cling to that lie. What are they fighting for? Why does it matter to them? Unbelievable. Thanks for the laughs always. Because a lot of people, myself included, it's jarring how psychopathic people can be. You know, there's certain people that can't believe that people are capable of such an unbelievably committed lie for almost no reason. I faced that in my personal life. I faced it in my professional life. I faced it in politics, where there is a pushback at first. You know, when I first heard that the moon landing was faked, I didn't believe it at all. I thought that it was nonsense, because it was like, why would they fake it? And then why would they reinforce it over and over and over and over again? And then when you realize that there is zero chance that that was real, zero, none, there isn't one possibility. That's why that's one of those conspiracy theories that they come down at you hard on. If you question the moon landing, they ostracize you, persona non grata you. Your friends have to denounce you. That's a new thing. Dude, people constantly are hitting up all my friends or former friends or any associates in media that they're like, you must denounce Owen Benjamin. Did you see what he said? He said the Holocaust was really 9 gay guys on rollerblades. You know, and when you question the moon landing, because they know that if you can see that one, it's like the litmus test. If you can see that one, there's a lot more that you're about to start seeing. And so they have to get rid of you. That one's so obvious that if you believe we went to the moon, you're safe cattle. You're safe to these people. They're like, oh, it's fine. He thinks we went to the moon. It's literally, he thinks that everything in the sky is all just how planes are. And, you know, vaccines are keeping everything down. And, Caitlyn Jenner is a brave and beautiful woman. Guns cause violence. There's a giant wage gap. Children should be taught about sodomy and transitioning at 4. Barack Obama is a real peacekeeper. You know, like all these things, it all falls apart. Like once you understand that these people are psychopathic liars, everything just starts becoming clear. And it's not responsible of me to start saying like all vaccines are bad or something, because I don't know. I know something's going on in the sky. I know something's going on in our food. You know, when I lived in the Czech Republic in 1999, I lost 30 pounds in like 2 months without any change in behavior, and I ate a ton. There's something in our food in America that makes us fat and unhealthy. It's one of the reasons I'm so committed to growing food. That's a fact. And marriage is a sacred union between male and female that creates life and family. That's a fact. You can redefine anything you want. White, toxic male, you know, patriarchy is not destroying the West. Just being gay doesn't mean you're a protected class. Just being a woman doesn't mean you're a victim. These things are lies. And one big thing that you can tell if someone is capable of being just herded like sheep is the moon landing, because nothing about it is real. Nothing. Once you see it, it's like, and they flaunt it in your face. They flaunt it in your face. It's like the Caitlyn Jenner thing. It's like watching the Oscars, you know, the racism against white people. It's like they make you watch it and be like, you won't do shit. The reason that adults need to be treated like children sometimes and say, don't do this, that's a bad decision, it's because no one ever treated them like children when they were children. You know, they probably had to live a life with a lot of chaos and some very unstable and selfish parents. And so I have an instinct to treat them like the children they never were treated, and just have someone say, this is right, this is wrong, don't do that. Take care of yourself. Don't treat them like children. Well, don't act like a child. And it's because of the boomers are the worst parents who ever, like, they're the worst generation of parents who's ever lived. They were these entitled, absent, selfish sacks of shit. And out of that came a bunch of people that don't know basic things. They don't know what you're taught as a child. If we don't help each other build and have a strong community, we're just lambs to the slaughter. You know, family, community, friendship, in-group preference, trust.